across the world, there are some places which are very fascinating and mysterious. One such place, which has fascinated me throughout my life, is the Great Pyramids of Giza, in Cairo, Egypt. This is a story about Karen, a fun-loving, beautiful young woman from Los Angeles. As a child, Karen used to love to draw, and every time inadvertently she used to draw the pyramids, most of the times in each of her drawings. As a teenager, she used to read novels and storybooks about the pyramids, and historical places, in and around Egypt. She liked reading them and used to talk about it with her friends, with great excitement all the time. So much so, that her friends gave her a nickname, Cleopatra, which she secretly liked. As years passed by, she got busy with her family, kids, and her demanding job at a telecom company. She didn't have any time for herself. One day her boss called, and told her, "Hello Karen, there is a big project assignment which is very important for the company. And I want you to lead this, however this will require you to travel to Cairo, in Egypt, for a month." Karen was surprised, and her heart started pounding, as this was her first on-site project, outside the United States. She took some time, and discussed with her family before confirming the opportunity. She had to travel within a week. As she was preparing to travel, she started thinking about her younger days, how she was fascinated about Egypt and the pyramids. She still couldn't believe she was actually going to Egypt. Finally the day came, and she was on her way to Egypt. After reaching Egypt, Karen got busy with her project work. However, over the weekend, she decided to go and visit the Great Pyramids. She booked a tourist guide, and reached the pyramids. The moment she saw the Giza pyramids, she was in awe, and just stood there staring at them, as if she knew the place, and had come back after many years. All her childhood memories, of the drawings she drew, the Egyptian stories she read, all this, flashed in front of her as she stood there still. The guide interrupted her flashback, and guided her inside the pyramids. It was like a horror movie, completely dark with timid lights flickering. She could hear the echoes of her own voice. And she felt as if she was being drawn further deep inside the pyramids by an unknown force. As she went in the deep layers of the pyramid, it was suffocating, and she saw an old man sitting with his closed eyes. As she went closer, the old man said, "Welcome back, my Queen Cleopatra." Karen was startled, and started looking around and thought, the old man was talking to someone else. However, the old man again said to her, "It has been a long time, Cleopatra. I have been waiting. Please follow me." Karen felt completely hypnotized and started blindly following the old man, as if she knew him. He took Karen outside the pyramids, and then they traveled towards Alexandria, to an unknown tomb. As they reached there, the old man said, "Here you go. This is General Mark Antony's mummy. I will take your leave." My job here is done, my queen. The old man suddenly disappeared, and Karen stood there inside an unknown tomb, where a mummy was kept. There were a lot of emotions Karen was experiencing, and she didn't know what was happening to her, as tears started rolling down her eyes and she sat there crying, and later became unconscious. Next day, she woke up and saw herself in her hotel room. She was told by the hotel staff that some people found her unconscious in a tomb and brought her back there. Karen was very curious to know what had happened to her. Was it even real? She started searching the internet for the name General Mark Antony, as she had read about him in one of the novels. That Mark was a Roman general who was in love with the Egyptian Queen Cleopatra. In 42 BC, Mark Antony and Cleopatra flaunted their scandalous love affair while challenging the power of Rome. At the Battle of Actium, off the western coast of Greece, Roman leader Octavian won a decisive victory against the forces of Roman Mark Antony and Cleopatra, the Queen of Egypt. With no other refuge to escape to, Mark Antony had stabbed himself with his sword, in the mistaken belief that Cleopatra had already done so. When he found out that Cleopatra was still alive, his friends brought him to Cleopatra's monument in which she was hiding, and he died in her arms. Cleopatra couldn't bear this tragedy and committed suicide by taking poison. Karen didn't understand what was happening and why did all this happen to her. She started thinking, was she Queen Cleopatra in her earlier life, and the tomb where the old man took her, was it General Mark Antony's tomb? Was this some kind of an impending rebirth and reunion? She didn't find any answers, but she felt a sense of peace and stillness in her thoughts, and she got busy with her project work. Has any one of you experienced similar kind of coincidences? Or, sometimes when we meet someone, we feel as if we know that person, or when sometimes an incident happens, we feel as we had already seen and felt this earlier. I am sure everyone has some or other kind of such experiences. Such are the mysteries of life, as mankind continues his pursuit of happiness.